guys, Martyupnorth. All right, so last video I posted was a video of Evan and I doing the Little Elbow Trail, and we were carrying fairly large packs because we were in winter. It's not winter officially yet, it's not December, but as you can see in my yard, we got a lot of snow. And so I haven't done a lot of winter hiking historically because I was always busy coaching hockey, but now I have no hockey, so I plan on getting more into hiking in winter. And hiking in winter definitively requires more gear. You need a bigger sleeping bag, you need more fuel, you need more clothes, and you're going not as far in a typical day. So you saw in the video last week we're carrying 35-pound packs. Well, the solution in winter is to use what's called a Pulk or a sledge. And what I have here, and in this video I'm going to build a Pulk. I'm going to show you. So what I have here is a toboggan, made for ice fishing. Here in Canada we go ice fishing, and so this is just a very solid toboggan. Weighs about 3 pounds, and if I'm going on a flat lake, Karen, if you follow me, if I'm going on a flat lake and I'm pulling the toboggan, it follows me. There's no issue. Now, let me show you something. I'm going to show you this is a toboggan. It's not a Pulk, and I'll show you what becomes a Pulk. So I'm going to take 40 pounds of gear here. And now, when I put 40 pounds of gear in here, I can pull it, no problem. If I'm pulling 40 pounds, no big deal. And as I'm going up a hill, it's no big deal with just the rope. So I could conceivably just use the rope, but you're going to see when I go over this hill here and down the hill where the problem occurs. Now, pulling 40 pounds on snowshoes, actually this is more like 50, no big deal. And you'll see the trouble when I get to a hill. So let's say I'm pulling this, let's say, I'm going to go over this hill. Watch what happens when I go over the hill. If I wasn't fast, it would run into me. So, because the rope is not stiff. So, the solution, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this rope with solid poles, and you'll see that. And then the poles will cross like this, and then I'll attach the poles to a belt, and that becomes a Pulk. So that's the difference between just a toboggan or a sled and a Pulk. A Pulk has stiff poles attached to a harness around your waist, and that means that I have a lot of control. So when I'm going over and down hills, every time I'm going down a hill, the toboggan is not running into the back of my legs. So you'll see. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the video. Is I'm going to show you how I'm going to build the poles. Everyone questioning what was in there: tools, router, some parts. So there's at least 40 pounds in there. So the basis for my Pulk is this Pelican Trek 45, it's called. I got it online on Amazon for $47 Canadian delivered, so that's a really good price. And you can buy them at Canadian Tire and places like that. It's 45 inches long. It's about a foot high. It's rated for 130 pounds. So the beauty of this is that, in fact, if it's loaded and you don't need to and two people could lift it, and it's not going to buckle and twist and break. It's made out of high density plastic that's fairly solid, and you can see these actually lips here. The reason the lips are here, the lips coincide, the lips are offset, because if you buy two of these, you can use the one on top of the other. One can be used as a lid. So and then it has, it doesn't have formal runners, but it has a keel, I would call it, so that in the snow it won't just slide sideways. It's not a flat bottom. In fact, one of the evolutions I might do on the Pulk is I might not the first attempt. When I build this, I'm not going to put fins, but a possibility would be to put thin metal aluminum fins on there to keep it, especially when you're side hilling. But I think this will be, my goal is not to carry 50 pounds. My goal is more like to carry a small pack with say 10-15 pounds on it, and then carry an additional 25 pounds in here. So but we'll see. I mean, there'll be lots of follow-up videos. I wouldn't be surprised if I can pull 60 pounds on flat terrain with this thing. All the materials I'm going to use are quite basic, and the real foundation of the Pulk is going to be the stiff poles, and for that I've selected this half-inch PVC pipe, commonly available. I mean, a length like this is a 10-foot length, and this is only I think this was $7.98 or something like that. So but I'm going to cut it to 7 feet, seems to be the ideal length, and then I'll show you the other parts in a second. But it's going to be very simple. I can do this in this little corner of my garage. All I need to do this is a pipe cutter. This will allow me to cut the pipe. I got some glue, which I will need, a drill press, and some very basic tools, and take me probably 20 minutes to build this. All right, there's the basis of my Pulk. It's a Pelican Trek 45. Things I bought. This is interesting. So it's just the 2-inch caster wheel, but let me show what happens. I got the idea, by the way, from somebody else on the internet, but once you remove the wheel, you get a nice bracket. So the bracket is going to go on the front of the Pulk. Now, and then I got these caps. So the caps are going to get glued to the end of the pole, but before I glue the caps to the end of the pole, I'm going to drill holes through them and put in an eye bolt like this. So the eye bolt will get attached to the end of the cap, and the cap will get glued. And then what that happens is now I'll have a pole, and in the field I can detach and attach the poles by simply running this pin through there. This is just a good old-fashioned hitch pin. So this makes a bit of noise, but you can tape it or do a few things to reduce the noise. So I think that'll be pretty slick and pretty straightforward. Had to buy just a bunch of bolts, so 1/4-inch bolts to fit in there, and I bought some nuts with nylon inserts so they won't loosen off, and then I'll drill a couple of holes and everything will be secured using bungees. Step one is I'm going to assemble the cap. So I'm drilling. So this eye bolt is 5/16. So I'm drilling a 5/16 hole in the cap. The eye bolts came with just a regular nut, and I'm going to replace all these regular nuts with a nylon lock washer. So the difference between a regular nut and a nylon washer is that there's a bit of nylon in there that acts to seize the nut onto the bolt, and because I don't want these to come undone accidentally. I don't think they would, but just an extra precaution. So straightforward, put it through the hole, and then I'm not going to put it so tight that it can't spin. I want this to spin. That way there's a lot of twisting of the sled and everything else. So I want it to be, I don't want everything to be rigid, because we're not going over a very having a hard time starting it now. And actually, I can feel the resistance already of that nut. It wouldn't spin very easily. And almost all the way tight. A little bit of play, a little bit more. Let's tighten it just a wee bit more. A little bit of play and it spins freely. Actually, I'm going to go just a wee bit more. There. Now it spins freely, and then that'll get glued. So I'm going to do 4 more of these. These eye bolts were a little bit longer. They didn't have 8 the same lengths. So I don't have to hold it with my hand. I'm just going to, there. A lot easier that way. These are long. Whoops, too far. Now I'm going to go with an 8-foot pole. Sorry, 7-foot. Go there. Let me. I'll mark one at 7 feet, and then I'll use that one as a gauge for the others so that they're all the same length. Here's my cap. This is a pipe cutting tool for copper pipe, but it'll work just fine for this. And this is so easy to cut. If all you have at home is a little saw or whatever, but the way this works is you twist it around. Hang on here, I'm not sitting proper on the bottom. You twist it around, and you turn the handle, and it pushes the blade in a little bit more. A little bit more. just gonna wipe it clean. Got a little rag here. It'll be dry in no time. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holes need to be about a 1/4 inch. Quarter-inch drill bit, 1/4 inch holes. We'll be in business. Put one in. Same thing, using a nylon washer so it doesn't loosen up. And I'm gonna need a miniature little wrench. There, I didn't tape the whole event, but it was a little more complicated than, but there you go. Perfect. But not least, I'm going to put a couple holes just for attachments. They can be like that, like that, there, another one here, perfect, needing to go across, who knows. Awesome. There you go. Let's go try it out. The detail here. So here's the 2-inch plastic wheel. It's not a rotating caster. It's just a 2-inch wheel. But when I take out the wheel, I'm left with just a bracket. Nice bracket. So that's the bracket after it's been installed. And then that's the bracket once I put the pin through it. So, and like I said, because the end is free to rotate, not everything is completely stiff. And that wheel is bolted in there. There's a pin and a nut, so it's not riveted. If it was riveted, it'd be hard to get it off. It's 1:32, and I started right after lunch, so less than an hour and a half, and the whole thing is assembled. So. And I'm not going to pull load with it because the glue might not be completely cured, but Tika, move away. So here's how I use this. So put the pin through there. There's one pin. pin through there. Now, I bought a belt. I bought a tool belt. This is, I got this at Lowe's. It's Velcroed, so it can adjust anywhere from 32 inches to 52 inches. And then it has these heavy loops for attachments of different kinds. And so I just bought the belt, and I'm going to wear it with the loops downwards, and that's where I'm going to attach the poles. So I've already adjusted it more or less so that I unvelcroed and slid it so that the two loops are basically to my side like that, so they're where I want them to be. I might adjust them a little bit later. And then beauty of the belt is it can go over my jacket. I think if I have my backpack, I'll figure out something so that if I want to wear my backpack and attach it to the hip belt, I'll put attachments on their attach points. But for now, let's say I'm not carrying my belt. So then the poles have to be crossed. So, and to keep them crossed and dangling too much, I'm going to put a quick zip tie. In the field, you could use rope or whatever. And then I have carabiners. One carabiner there. There. So now I have my two carabiners attached. Now I can go. Actually nicely. You barely feel it. Now this is where it gets tricky, right? So if you have to go between trees, it tends to stay straight. Awesome.
She's chewing it.
Here's the test. So we come to a hill like this. Now I'm going to push against my belt and it's not getting way on me. I think 7 feet's about the right length. You think 6 feet would be too short? 5 would be too short, eh? You want it to stay flat. There you go, folks. Quick video on how to build a Pulk, which hopefully will add a lot more pleasure to your winter hiking. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button. If you have questions, feel free to text me anything you want to know, and I'll do my best to answer it. And right after this, in the video, you'll see a list of materials I use, and then below there'll also be a link to some of the other videos that provided inspiration for building this thing. So thanks for watching, folks, and get off the beaten path.